A cowboy's prized possession was his saddle. Without one, a cowboy couldn't work. The saddle had to be comfortable. Cowboys spent much of their time riding horses and ponies owned by ranchers. Often the horse or pony became a cowboy's best partner. And here's the horse wearing the bridle, which controlled and guided the horse. The saddle horn, which the cowboy held onto. And you got a blanket to keep the horse from the back of the horse from getting sore. And stirrups to hold the cowboy's feet in place. Roping was the most difficult skill for a cowboy to learn, and it was the most important. Cowboys carried ropes called lariats to lasso cattle. It took many months of practice to learn to spin the lariat and release it at the right moment. What do you think, Beck? Wild horses had to be captured and tamed before they could work among the cattle. A skilled cowboy called a bronco buster. Can you see that? I think it's a bronco buster. Yeah. Would mount and ride the horse until it would trot obediently around the corral. What a wild ride. Busting or breaking horses was a very dangerous job. Ranchers were unable to fence in the entire boundary of many of their acres of land, so longhorns from different ranches would graze together freely. Once or twice a year, ranches held roundups. All the cattle and newborn calves would be rounded up or brought to one location. It was hard work to round up all these critters. Cattle are wild and fast. Any longhorn trying to get away would be lassoed and captured. The cowboy had a loop at the end of his lariat. When he twirled it and let it fly, the rope would snag the animal from afar. No cowboy wanted to get too close to an angry longhorn. When the cattle were finally rounded up, the trail boss from each camp would count his herd. He could tell which longhorns belonged to his ranch by the mark on his cattle. It was called a brand. The calves didn't have brands. They were easy to identify because they followed their mothers. Is that good, Beck? Next, the cowboys lassoed the calves. This was called chopping out. One by one, the calves were brought to a wood fire with heated branding irons. The cowboys took turns pressing a branding iron to each of the calves' hip, leaving a mark. Any stray steer within their own herd would be lassoed, identified by its brand, and returned to the correct ranch. This was called cutting out. Cowboys who stole from other ranchers were called rustlers. These outlaws used a running iron to change the captured animals' brands to match their own. Pictures of rustlers' faces were to appear on wanted posters, and big rewards were promised for their arrest. Are you tired of the book? After the roundup came the trail drive. Oh, Becker, am I putting you to sleep? I can't believe these dogs. They sleep a lot.